All right, well, good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock, so we're going to get started with today's Water Rights Advisory Work Group. I'm Kim Nygren, the Deputy Director for the Water Availability Division at TCEQ, and the Water Availability Division houses the Water Rights Permitting Program and the Watermaster Program. So on a quarterly basis, we look to have this Water Rights Advisory Work Group to make sure we provide y'all with any information we have to keep you updated on the program, and then also give y'all an opportunity to communicate with us on any of the topics we talk about. I'm going to hand off the meeting really to my staff to give their updates. It's a fairly routine agenda today. But before I do that, I do want to go ahead and kind of proactively answer my most asked question, and that's typically about our work environment. We've been working primarily remotely since March of 2020. We are starting a transition from that environment to a hybrid type of work environment where our staff will spend some of their time in the office, where we'll primarily focus on collaboration between our staff and teams, and then some of their time continuing to work remotely. And so what I want you all to know about that is kind of how that might look to you all and what you might see from it. The short statement about that is I hope you don't see really anything. We started meeting in person with those who prefer an in-person meeting and where business is more best handled in person. We started doing that in the summer. And that's continued. We've met with quite a few people since then. We've been attending conferences since then as well. So that won't change. If you're looking for a meeting with us, you know, we always ask you kind of what your schedule is and what times work for you. And that's how we'll be scheduling. Won't be scheduling around our remote or in-office work schedules. So you really should not see any differences. The only thing I wanted to kind of put out there for you all is we are transitioning some of our technology. Staff are getting laptops so that they can go back and forth more seamlessly, and their telephones are going to be on their laptops so that that communication goes with them anywhere as well. And that's new technology to us. And every time I get new technology, mostly at home, I struggle a little bit with it. So if you all find that for some reason you've sent an email or left a voicemail and called and hadn't gotten someone that you were looking for, I want to make sure that y'all know you can call myself, you can call any of the staff on the call today. Most of our desk lines ring through to a mobile device where we'll answer it. And then you can also call our main number and they'll transfer you through to us. I don't really anticipate those problems, but in the event that we have them, I want y'all to know that the management team will be on top of that, and y'all don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give us a call if you're needing something from us. And then the last thing, I said I really didn't expect any changes. We've made a couple of big changes since the pandemic. One is that we ask for an electronic copy of your permit application, and then we've been communicating back and forth with people electronically. We're going to continue that because we found that that is really efficient for us, and then the feedback we've gotten from stakeholders is that's really efficient for you all as well. So that's going to continue and won't change. Another one of the things we did was we started putting our pending permit applications on the web so that you can click into those as opposed to coming into the office and taking a look at them. And we're going to continue that as well. Again, that we found that to be helpful on our end, and we definitely have heard from you all that it's helpful on your end. So just so y'all know what to expect going forward. And with that, we'll get the regular meeting started, and I will have Jason come on and walk y'all through the agenda.
All right, thank you, Kim. So as she mentioned, we have a fairly regular agenda today. We're going to hear from Kathy Alexander about water availability model updates. And then we'll be doing a legal update with Ruth Takita. We'll have a permitting update, which will also include the change of ownership updates from Brooke McGregor, and then a Watermaster update from Pepe Davila. And then, of course, we'll have a final Q&A at the end, and you're more than welcome to ask questions after each one of these presentations. To do so, please raise your hand, use the raise your hand function in the Teams, or you can use the chat to type your question in, and we'll get to those as soon as the presentation is over with. And if you raise your hand, we'll call on you, or we'll ask the question out loud if it's in the chat. So with that, we'll get started with Kathy, who has a water availability model update for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my update will be pretty quick. As we talked about at our last meeting, we had completed our water availability model update contracts for the Brazos, Red, Neches, and Rio Grande basins. Those models are now posted on our website. What you'll find in the folder is the actual model input files, and we've also posted within that folder a copy of the final report and appendices. If you need some of the additional supporting information, those files are extremely large, so please reach out to me and we can make arrangements to get that to you through our FTP site. I think the only other thing that I have is I just wanted to let you know that the water use data for 2020 was added to the viewer, and it should be visible to y'all tomorrow. And with that, that's all I have, unless there's any questions. Hey, Ruth.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ruth Takita. I'm with the agency's Environmental Law Division, and I too have a fairly brief update for y'all. I've been tracking 3 cases for the program area that we are interested in. One is still pending in district court. There is no change in status there. National Wildlife Federation versus the TCEQ. The Court of Appeals, the 13th Court of Appeals, did issue a decision in the case of Adams Garden Irrigation District number 19 et al. Versus TCEQ. That case had been dismissed from the trial court level. The appellate court affirmed the decision of the trial court, and that court opinion was issued on October 21st. We're still tracking the Pape Partners case. That's a change of ownership matter that started at the agency and is being considered by the Supreme Court. Briefs on the merits were filed in November, so we're waiting to see what the court does with that. And that concludes my presentation. I'll be available to answer any questions you have about that. And Brooke is next. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ruth. I have a presentation, so I'll get that shared real quick. Okay. Just a quick update on what we've been up to in the water rights permitting and availability section. So for our administratively complete application timeframes, targeting that 90 days, we've received 20 so far, and this is through the first quarter, so that was through the end of November. So we've received 20 applications, and we've had 16 go administratively complete in the last 3 months, and 100% of those have been processed within 90 days. For House bill applications, we've received 1 the past quarter, and we completed 1, and that was also processed timely. And then we've received 10 fast track applications, which I've mentioned this a few times, but just as a refresher, those are ones that don't require substantial modeling. And so we've received 10 and we've completed 3, and those 3 that we've completed were processed within our 300-day target. As of today, we have 136 pending applications in-house. 23 of those have hearing requests associated with them. And then just a little bit of a breakdown. We already talked about, we received 20. And so we've completed 13, 10 issued, 2 withdrawn, 1 returned. And I wanted to remind everyone that we will start requiring pre-application meetings starting January 1st. So what that means is we're going to have some updates to the application form to reflect that requirement, as well as a little bit of a narrative in the instructions and what that might look like. So starting in the beginning of the year, if y'all are going to be submitting a new application, make sure you get those pre-apps set up and use the new application form. And then I'm also going to do the change of ownership and water use report update. That team is part of the water rights permitting and availability section now. So just some stats on change of ownerships. The average processing time is 47 days and 96 are being processed within 90 days. And a reminder that we will be mailing out water use reports on January 1st, and those are due March 1st. And so we have the ability now, we did this last year, and we had about 43% of users submit their water use reports electronically. And we're really hoping to have higher participation this round. And if y'all have any questions about filling out those water use reports or using any of the electronic submittal tools or that sort of thing, you can email your questions to WUR, so water use reports at tceq.texas.gov, or call our main line and just explain that you have questions or need some help with any of that. And we have all those resources out on our webpage as well. So you can just Google TCEQ water use reports and it should be the first link that comes up. Overall, we continue to downward trend on the number of pending uncontested water rights that we have in-house. And then this is out of everything that we have with us right now, and that includes contested applications. This is the breakdown of what those applications are by technical review group. And some staff updates. We have Humberto Galvan, who has moved from being a project manager over to being the team leader for the Water Rights Compliance and Assurance team. And Trent Gay, who was one of our hydrologists on the team, has just very recently, like in this last week, stepped into that team leader role. So we have quite a few vacancies, on at least one on most teams. So we will be working pretty diligently in the new year to try to get those filled. And my contact info. And with that, that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
I'm not seeing any, Brooke, so thank you very much, and we'll move on to Pepe.
Yes, thank you, Jason. I also have a presentation, so let me start sharing it. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share an update on our Watermaster Operations. Okay, so I would like to begin my presentation by saying that we continue to operate under certain COVID-19 protocols and guidelines established by the agency. We could continue to coordinate public access to physical Watermaster records, as well as opening to for schedule small in-person meetings across the section. Our deputies continue to use protective gear and minimize contact with the public. And we continue to see a higher level of electronic and virtual communication and interaction with our customers and the public. We do continue to encourage our users to submit their records, applications, and paperwork in an electronic format. As for the ongoing duration of the pandemic, the use of video calls continues to result in a highly effective manner to conduct internal and external agency business. We just conducted the first hybrid Watermaster Advisory Committee meeting. This for the Rio Grande, but we also do multiple general meetings with the public and water holders, and as well as conducting job interviews. We will continue to maximize our electronic resources and tools where is permitted and reasonable without compromising customer service and attention. Oops, I'm sorry. We continue to monitor and manage our Watermaster budgets closely. We're coordinate appropriate expenditures across the section, targeting plan operating measures. We are at the preliminary stages of the Watermaster budget preparation for fiscal year 23 and Watermaster basin evaluations for fiscal year 22. As you can see in the slide, we have 5 basins to evaluate coming up. And updates from each of the Watermaster programs. First of all, section-wide, the closing of the first quarter for fiscal year 22, the Watermaster programs have completed 8,522 inspections, or that is 22% of the numbers of the 38,600 required for fiscal year 22. This is outstanding work given special circumstances created by several vacancies and training of new deputies across the section. Our current enforcement database is being phased out in early January, and we're migrating to a new database. Our Watermaster deputies have been testing the new enforcement database along with OCE. But as far as the Rio Grande updates, we have filled one last vacancy for a Watermaster deputy in the Harlingen office. Juan Manuel Peña joined the program on November 1st. At the end of November, the U.S. combined ownership at Amistad Falcon reservoirs stood at 36.87% of normal conservation capacity. This is down from 48.95% a year ago. Mexico has 11.38% of normal conservation capacity in the 2 reservoirs combined. Related to the Mexican water deliveries, at the end of November, Mexico had delivered almost 62,000 acre feet of water since the beginning of the new cycle. They currently have a prorated cycle deficit of close to 290,000 acre feet under the minimum expected delivery. This is based on the TCEQ linear approach that considers an average expected delivery per day. TCEQ technical and policy work groups continue to meet with Mexican government officials and members of the IBWC tasked with developing a binational water availability model for potential Mexican water delivery scenarios. For the South Texas Watermaster program, they have filled one last vacancy for a Watermaster Deputy position in the Corpus Christi area. Ashley Miller joined the program on this past Monday. As a matter of fact, staff continue to address surface water complaints, process temporary permits, routine inspections, researching ownership records, and daily duties. Water holders in the area follow their special conditions and schedules and pumping schedules diligently under the supervision of the Watermaster and her staff. For the Concho Watermaster program, the program is currently posting for one position in San Angelo. Our Watermaster Deputy in San Angelo remains busy with her daily duties and inspections and researching records and processing reports. For the Brazos program, they do have filled one last vacancy for a Watermaster Deputy out of the Dallas-Fort Worth regional office. Connor Joel joined the program in November 1st. The irrigation continued to be minimized by the rainfall. As of December 15, BRA's reservoir system was at 94.6%. The deputies and office personnel remain busy with their daily duties, inspections, and processing reports, and researching ownership records as well. And that's all I have for my update. That's my contact information, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Pepe. At this time, we'll open the floor to any questions that anybody might have. Once again, use the raise your hand feature, or you can use the chat to do so to ask your questions. And then if there are no questions, I'll hand it back over to Kim for a final wrap up.
I think we have a quiet group today. That's all we have for you guys today. We appreciate your joining us. You know, we have continued to have these work group meetings in this format. We do have an option of going to a hybrid format, or we can just stay all in this virtual format. But I would just ask as we leave today, if y'all don't mind, if you've got any feedback on how y'all want us to hold these meetings and going on into the future, if you'll just please let me know, and we'll make sure we're toggling to whatever works for stakeholders the best. So thank you guys a lot.